It sounds like, if I'm hearing it, one thing you're saying is that we should be eating 100% organic, that chemicals, there's no benefit, and we should really make all efforts, if economically you could afford it, to get rid of the chemicals and be organic. A second thing that I think Brian and Anna Marie is saying is that we should be 100% vegan. And a third thing I think Brian and Anna Marie is saying is we should try to be 80% raw.
Right.
And is, Brian and Anna Marie, do you feel this is flexible? If someone said, you know, there's a lot of people who don't want to be vegan. They do not want to be 100% vegan. It's not who they don't want to be it. They fight it. They resist it. Are we saying that they've got to be, and this is the only way it's going to work? Or are you saying that's best, but you still can have very good health if you are plant-based, but also incorporate animal products? I mean, there's a lot of people that feel there is a more moderate approach. And, you know, I know, are you saying to get the results that you believe that veganism has to be part of it?
Yes. I'm saying that if you're not a plant-based eater, that you will not get the maximum results, that you will be a contributor to the degradation of the planet Earth, that we have overwhelming data, unlike the other side who is still being moderate and having tea parties and having discussions around nothingness. So yes, we're saying that everyone has to be 100% vegan. Now there's variation within that, and that's what I just talked about. I know I would not have been ready to eat 80% raw food when I gave up meat and dairy. No way would I have done that. I wouldn't be here today if I had to do that. So I had to eat almost 100% cooked food at that point. And it had to look like a hamburger and taste like a whatever it would be. And then slowly, as you let yourself open, it's sort of like a flower that sort of opens and opens and opens. You accept more, and you start to recognize that these assaults that we call moderate foods are literally dangerous for us, incredibly dangerous for us, and not only us, but the earth we live on.
It's about being educated, and one of our guests just told us before I left that she showed a little part of forks over knives.
Forks over knives.
And she showed it for her teenager, and it was about the chickens. And she said, her daughter said, immediately, I'll never eat meat again. It will never be a part of my life again. So sometimes, but that could be also really a shock. That could be a big trauma also, because we don't put two and two together that the chicken breast that we have in the store is actually an alive chicken that could have lived for 5-6 years, maybe longer. And now it had maybe a few weeks to live. So maybe if we start to educate, that pig could have lived so many years, but now this is all we let it live, and so that we could eat its meat. And I think education like that, but it depends on where you're at as a parent. So maybe, like you say, maybe I add this fresh foods, fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, organic nuts, raw nuts. By the way, any other nuts that are treated, let's say roasted, they're rancid, and they're actually very, very bad fat for you then. So the nuts needs to be raw. But start adding things like that to their lunchbox, and yourself, your own lunchbox. It's great to bring your own lunchbox too, so then you don't get tempted. And and maybe you're not ready to go all the way vegan. Maybe you're listening to this and say, well, I'm ready to take a part of that. Then do that, because every part that you take of this, you will be successful. And you can't go wrong. And then hopefully your taste buds and your taste receptors that you have all throughout your body will say, go ahead, swallow that, get rid of that. and your senses are being heightened. We see that with our guests, and the first week, the foods that are amazing. I mean, our chefs are amazing, and it's still bland for most people, because if you come from French fries and hot dogs and burgers, this is bland, you know. And then by the third week, the same food is served, and our guests will tell you, why didn't they serve this the first week?
All the time, all the time.
You know, so we change, and kids for sure are willing to change if the parents are with it and if it's available.
The parents have to be enlightened and
Yes.
willing. The parents are frightened. The parents are looking for easy ways.
Yeah.
There's no easy way to save a life. If somebody's in a water drowning, you jump in and you save them.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't tiptoe around. We're burning and all falling apart at this point.
Something else that might help with kids and with a spouse who maybe is not totally on board with what you want to do is if you have the cookbooks, whether they're raw or vegan or whatever, but these are your parameters, and you ask them, could you pick out 10 recipes in here that
you'd
look
like.
good, that you would like? And they might say, well, you know, I like broccoli and I like, you know, macadamia nuts.
Right.
And that way they feel that they're being included, not just having something put upon them because
idea.
they said, those ingredients sound good to me, I'm willing to try it. And if they're willing, then you're probably going to have more success than one person just dominating what the choices are for everybody. You really want it to be a communal effort so that everybody feels their wishes are being included too.
Good idea.
One thing I want to add is that, food is foundational, of course, to health and to healing, but that is not at the exclusion of all the other important things, some of which were mentioned,
Right.
movement and
Right.
making sure that your body is constantly moving, not sitting 24 hours a day, which we do in this country, and getting natural exposure to sunlight and not sitting inside all day, and all the toxins, removing the toxins. So I think to take, we don't want to give the impression that diet is the only thing that needs to be done. This is sort of a holistic approach where you look at all the things in your life that can help to support your body.
Yeah, and we tend to, when we're not satisfied, when the food didn't give us enough good protein, good carbs, good fats, then we will snack. And that's when the snacks come in, and the snacks are what? Sugar. And then I fill up on sugar, and now it's a vicious circle because I never get satisfied on sugar. I can eat big ice cream, I can eat whatever I need, and it never feeds you. And just to have that satisfaction where every cell in your body says, okay, I'm fine. Then, like you say, microbiome, you could have, King's College did a study about, for example, McDonald's. If you ate McDonald's for 10 days, it killed a third of your microbiota. And this is your immune system. This is it. And so imagine that's how fast I can destroy and get gastrointestinal problem, first of all, but immune problem. Like now, things can walk in the door. And I don't have my immune system top-notch like I was supposed to have.
And most of you don't know that 70% of your immune system comes out of your intestinal tract.
Yes.
So what Anna just said, a study in London at King's College, in just 10 days of eating McDonald's fast food, 1/3 of their gut and their immune system was compromised. Think about that.
Yeah.
It's frightening when you think about it. And how many of you haven't eaten fast food? And how many people do you know that do not eat fast food? And how many children are brought up around the world without fast food? So it's a minority that's not doing this, self-destruction.